Cliff. If you're talking, you're muted on stream.
I'm muted because I hit the button for some fucking reason. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to D&D night. This is Amethil. It's going to be an interesting night, right? Sin is out for the next month or so. And Jake caught the plague from his escapades last week. We just have Melissa and John. And I say just, not in an insulting way. But the fact that we have reached the pinnacle, the culmination, the climax of this dungeon. And we are down to 2 players.
And John just walked away.
Now we're down to
It's
1.
just me!
It's just Vakta and a giant 3-headed dog.
I befriended the dog. It's my new friend. Campaign's over. Alright, time to start over.
So, with that being so, and I redid the layout to make sure that we matched for all that. Don't mind that square at the very end there. It's just a thing. So, who wants to do recap?
I'm assuming Melissa don't want to.
What? I'm great at it. You do it.
I mean, if you guys don't want to do it, I can do recap.
So let's see how this went down here.
Awful.
Yeah, mostly. So yeah, they heard the ding to let us know that. Wait. Okay, so how do we leave our start last game?
With the gate slamming down, all of the statues staring at you guys.
Right. Okay. So yeah, immediately we started trying to see what those things would do. We were like shooting off. Well, Vakta was shooting off their helmets, and they weren't moving. And Vardrak eventually got annoyed and threw a fireball and blew shit all over the place. But yeah, they didn't really move or anything. Eventually, they just got down to brute force and tried to force the gate open. Vardrak and Ravage managed to push up long enough for a couple of them to slip under and then grab the hoist and lock it into place. They then went through and started searching for any sort of keys that might be able to open up that door at the end of the hallway. Came to a room. It came to a room that had like a couple of chests and another orb in it. Batsu, I think, destroyed that one and froze over stuff in that room. And then we went in and kind of cracked open those chests. One had a kind of like this Under Armour jumpsuit thing in it, and Vardrak ended up claiming that. But aside from that, there was like all sorts of keys that were contained in one of those crates that got blown all over the place. So they just kind of sifted through all the keys. Vakta said she needed to find one with like 3 teeth in them. So we collected all of those and went to go back to that door. When on the way there, we realized that all of the suits of armor were standing back up and looking in our direction, but still weren't moving. So we just kind of went past them, went to the door, eventually found the correct key that opened the door while Vardrak put on his new little prize there. And then they went in and opened it up. Batsu went inside, fucked with something, and all of a sudden the door slammed and locked him inside. There was a bunch of different color orbs of different colors and everything in there. He started trying to experiment to see, if any of them would work. While Vardrock used his patented Vardrock science to try and get into the door, which none of which was working. Vakta was trying to pick it, but there was some obstruction in the way that was keeping her from succeeding. And then eventually, Batsu destroyed one of the gems and caused a chain reaction of explosions in the room that he couldn't survive. In the middle of the chain of explosions, they heard another ding, which symbolized that another glyph had activated on the room that they were eventually trying to get into.
Which was the final glyph.
Which was the final glyph, but then continuous explosions went off, and we assumed that the silence afterwards meant that Batsu was with us no more. So after trying to get in for a while, Rakar is like, I'm going to try something, and he uses an ability where he can reach out to his deity, in this case Tiamat, to try and gain answers, by which Vardrock was not too thrilled to hear that he could do and never shared with everyone over the past few years of her silence. And he get the answer to whether they can get into this room or not by his reflection and basically telling him not with the people that you're with right now. Which I need to rewind a little bit. The reason why Taldir wasn't with us was because all of a sudden a portal opened up out of nowhere, a tentacle comes through, portal closes. So we lost him and seen or heard from him since. So there might have been something he could do to get in there, but we don't know because he's missing. So with that answer, we had no choice but to press on. Ended up going into the room with the glyphs, which was no longer shining blue, and went in. And after we went into the second room, then we started running into invisible corpses of the bug-like creatures that we were fighting before. There was just piles of them as corpses. None of them seemed to be alive. And then before we could make our way through to what looked like stairs at the end of that room, a giant creature attacked that looked like part man, part bug creature or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
think of like a centaur almost, but instead of a horse body, a giant centipede's body.
Yeah, gross.
I still hate it.
And centipede head.
I still hate it.
There goes.
So we turned and dealt with that. And after we fought long and hard and killed that, then it was time to try and see what we can do to go up these next set of stairs, which also had a blue light shining down it. So it was like, well, fuck, we have to deal with this again. So Vardrock takes one of the corpses of the invisible bug creatures and he heaves it up the stairs, and he sees the shadow of something big start to move, and you hear something kind of making some sort of sound. And I was like, okay, well, the creature didn't poof away or anything like that, but there's definitely something up there. And with getting impatient, Ravage just kind of charges up the stairs, and he finds a giant 3-headed dog. And that's where we left off.
Giant 3-headed dog with a chain around its neck with the phylactery hanging off of it.
Yes.
And then Ravage roared. I don't think he ever raged, though.
No, he didn't rage yet.
Okay, just making sure. So yeah, so that's where we're at. Thank you for that, John. You get one mo again of PP. So you're up to 9. Melissa, you're at uno. And I can tell you what Toldir's at, but it don't matter. So I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I need here? No, I think we're good. So time for another very, very special intro. Hey, John, thanks for that, man. Yeah. Thank you for the 15 months. a long ass time, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, time for the intro and tonight's episode of Adventures from Amethil.
All right. Well,
Damn told ear and Batsu alive. I mean, if that's what you got from that. Botsicle.
all right.
Well, with that, so as
I don't even know what to do.
as Ravage runs up the stairs and looks, this dog is standing there staring at him, growling, 3 heads the size of a dragon, with a chain around its neck and this phylactery hanging off of it. Its eyes still swollen like it just woke up. And it howls out loud at Ravage.
And like I said, Ravage like yells back, and Vardrock immediately goes, "Ravage! We do not charge recklessly in the combat. We talked about this. Get down here now."
And before he gets a chance to do that,
He gets crit to death.
he lucked the fuck out is what he did. He feels this echoing in his head as this dog is howling.
All right, he is. He's gonna look back and he's like snarling at this thing, but then he comes back down the stairs. He's this big dog, giant, 3 heads, blue thing around its neck. And Vardrock starts, getting his shield and his hammer ready.
Blue thing.
Yeah, I think that's what we're here for.
Probably. Ravage, what can you tell us about the dog? Other than it's big and has 3 heads.
It challenged me.
Doctor's gonna like lock eyes with Vardrock and just sigh because she can see the semblance between the two of them right now.
it's like, what? It challenged him. Of course, he shouldn't have ran up there, but we'll discuss that later.
Oh my god.
And at this point, you hear this sound of giant claws scraping against stone, and you start to see like pebbles and debris clicking down the stairs.
Well, unless you have another idea, I'm thinking we're just gonna have to go and try and fight that thing.
Let me sneak up and see if I can get a scope of the room or anything.
You do realize it knows we're here now, right?
Yes, and I can be very sneaky.
I know. Okay. All right.
I'll just run back down if there's an issue.
Vardrak is at the ready.
Vakta's gonna sneak to. Is this black line all the way here a wall?
Yes.
All right,
And
she's
like
gonna.
as you're like creeping up the side of that wall, you're seeing the wall shaking and bowing at the sound of this claw, and you're starting to see the stones coming loose.
Yep, I'm stealthing. That's a 25.
That is a 25.
Ah,
So what are you
that's
doing?
not good. Vakta was just gonna take a peek around and see what she could see of the room. Before scrambling away if it noticed her.
Yeah, so as you like get to the top, you're hearing these claws, and then
Perception.
you just stop hearing the claws.
Huh. I'm still gonna peek around. I know. I'm just like crouched, like slight peek. If there's like a big dog nose here or anything, I'm just gonna like come back, go back down the stairs. But I gotta see what's in the room. Get some layout.
As you peek around the room, you are met by a giant dog biting at you.
Yeah. Let me just do something little uncanny about that.
And as this thing bites you, like you just feel this cold from its breath as it bites down on you, and it gets your shoulder as you're peeking around the corner, and you manage to scramble backwards and push off. And there is this giant dog growling and snarling at you. And everybody go ahead and roll initiative.
Nah.
So Vardrak, looking up the stairs, you would see this giant dog snoot come into view and bite on Vakta's shoulder, and it just barely caught her the way that it bit. But you could see just the scale of this thing, its head bigger than her torso, as she pushes back and scrambles to get out of its maw.
Not the snoot.
Yeah, he's gonna charge up the stairs here. With his intention to get between them.
All right.
Fuck, what are we working with here? Not good.
That's always good to hear the tank say.
Okay, so yeah. We're going to burn to sorcery. Are we? Maybe we should. Okay. He's going to come up and he is going to cast Mirror Image. That's what he'll do.
All right.
That's an action.
And where are your mirror images going to?
Yeah, they're just gonna fan out from his left, kind of that, almost like that same curved shape that you just put him in. I had to kind of distract it to look elsewhere. And then, well, shit, that was a spell though. And it was a standard action spell on top of that.
Yeah, do.
But Okay, I need a ruling on this. Racial ability darkness, would that count as a spell or just a spell-like ability?
Let's forget about that.
I think that they have to be used as actions.
Okay.
Let me double check here.
Yeah, that would be an action, so wouldn't fall under his other shit.
Infernal Legacy, you can cast a darkness spell once with this trait. So it is considered a spell, but it doesn't take up a spell slot.
Right.
And then, yeah, the darkness spell takes 1 action.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's going to be into his turn. Can't go into like a defensive stance or anything, right?
Nope, that's an action to do as well.
Right. Okay, then he's done for now.
All right. As these 3 things sprawl out, this dog immediately pounces in their direction. So, Vakta, you're able to push off of the wall slightly just to get back behind cover as these paws come down. Vardrak, you are not quite as lucky to get out of the way of that. With the mirror image, what does it say they have to do?
So I have to roll a d20, and if he has 3 duplicates, I have to roll a 6 or higher to change the attack's target to a duplicate.
Okay.
So here's a d20. Oh, wow, that landed off the board, and it was an 18. Okay, 11. Did that show up?
Sure didn't.
Why is it not showing up? How do I reset the die?
Right-click in one of the open areas, and then click on the button on the far left. This is the range dice.
Let's see if that works.
That works.
Okay.
Okay, so if it's 6 or higher,
yes,
it hits one of the duplicates.
Hits one of the duplicates, and then since he's going to destroy one of them, the next time I would have to roll an 8 or higher.
Okay. Yeah, so one of them is definitely destroyed.
Yes.
And this knocks you back into Vakta even as this thing pounces down and the walls shake a bit. And some more of that stone from the wall where he was clawing at falls to the ground and tumbles down next to where Ravage's feet are.
Okay.
Vakta.
I have a dumb idea.
Is this Melissa speaking or Vakta speaking?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
What if I climb the dog?
And do what?
See if there's a clasp to get the chain off to get the phylactery.
I can't focus on this right now, honey. Whatever you think is best.
Yes. This is so dumb. We're all gonna die. It's gonna be a TPK.
That was to deter you from making a bad decision. It didn't work. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What is your intention here?
I was gonna do exactly as I said. Try to see if I could dart behind the dog or scramble up somehow to see if there's a clasp to get the chain off its neck. Is it like a thick chain or a thin chain? I never actually asked.
It's a pretty thick chain. And the phylactery looks like it's connected to the chain, like in sort of like almost like a gyroscope. But if that's what you want to do, go ahead and make your move forward, and give me an acrobatics, please.
So if it's facing that way, trying to get behind it would be going this way.
Okay.
What?
So that would be
No,
a 25.
that would be a 25. I panicked for a moment. All I saw was it was really low, and I was just like, oh no.
Let me just say one thing. You lucked the fuck out. So you scale this dog. You see her dart forward. The thing slams its paw down, and she like rolls over the top of the paw, darts to the side, and begins just climbing up the side of it towards its neck. Looking at its neck, you do not see any clasp or anything on it.
This was a bad plan.
But you're here now.
Stop laughing at me.
And between the climbing and moving to there, that would be your full movement. I'll say that the climbing of him was just your movement. So if you want to make any actions, you're more than welcome to.
I'm gonna squish his ears.
What?
I don't know what else to. No, I'm not. I don't know what else to do. I'm just like, I got up here for no reason. Maybe if I scratch him, it'll be friendly. Nah. I have the feeling we're past that point, so I'm not. Facta wouldn't even try. Melissa wants to try. That's metagaming, so Facta would just be like, shit. Yeah, that's it. Unless
You're not gonna stab it or try stabbing the chain or.
I could stab the chain. That would only make sense. Yeah, let's try stabbing the chain. I have to scroll all the way back up to get to... I can't roll worth a shit.
So you hit the chain and it just kind of sparks and tings underneath the metal of the dagger. You don't see any visible damage done to it.
Cool. Neat.
Ravage.
It's just dumb.
Let's see here. This would definitely be a monster, so that's not gonna help. Okay. Hey, this Spear of Chance.
Mm-hmm.
Can I roll to see if it gets that bonus?
I mean, it's a little late, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, I didn't know when that's... Is that supposed to be done like every...
When you wake up.
Okay. Then will I roll like a d20 or...
I think it's just a d6.
Okay.
And I think you do want odds, but let me double check. Spear of Chance. If it's an odd, treat it as a +0 magic weapon. You want it even, not odds.
Okay. Lovely. All right. So yeah, he is going to rage. Damn, he already used his action surge.
Yeah, and this will be his second rage too.
Yep.
Yeah, so he lets out a roar to match the dogs.
Of course he does.
He's gonna run around. He's like running behind all of these Bardrogs. So we can get around and get a strike. And yeah, we're gonna take some swings here.
Bless you.
Bless you.
You didn't target it, but that was a miss.
Okay. Second. Wow. And half the attack.
All nemesis misses.
Mm-hmm. All right, he sucks. He's done.
All right, Rakar's turn. And Rakar's kind of like at the bottom of the stairs with his hand on the wall looking up at you guys. I can stay back and heal, or I can come up there and try to assist.
Vardra goes, stay behind the wall, but give us blessings or something.
Hmm.
And he kind of like looks at you and nods and casts Spare the Dying on you. So he just kind of like walks up the stairs and he like motions his hand, and you feel this like this feeling of magic enveloping over you. Well, while we figure this out, don't die.
Great advice.
And with you on the dog's back, Vakta, and Ravage swinging at him, and like one head is focusing on Ravage, one's focusing on the Vardrox, and one is turned sideways, like trying to bite at you, almost like a dog trying to get a flea off of its back. All three heads sort of snap to attention, and it growls, and all three heads look right up to the sky and just let out this ear-piercing, soul-clenching howl. And Vardrak and Vakta, you're able to withstand the force of this, feeling the pain crushing at your brain. You're able to muster through it. Still feeling the damage, but Ravage takes the full force of this.
Oof.
I think you damaged all of us.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, you and Vakta took half damage. Ravage, not so lucky.
All right.
Actually, hold on. So with Ravage, did you activate his bear totem?
Yeah, it's on. It doesn't.
Oh yeah. Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't do psychic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Vardrak, your turn.
All right. Well, that hurt.
Ricardo's like, what happened? What was that? Oh, actually, hold up. I fucked up. So Vardrak, you wouldn't. Oh, wait. Before I do that, roll your d20 and whatever it needs to be for your mirror image. I'm not quite sure how this would apply to this.
That would have passed.
So it should hit your duplicate and not you?
Right.
Okay, yeah. I don't know how that would work with this scenario, but I'll make rules, I guess. So there you go.
All right, so it's just me and Steve now, huh?
And Vakta evaded it 100%? How did that happen?
Somehow? Magic? I
Is
don't
that
know.
a rogue thing?
So you have evasion on.
Which knocks things like that down to half, I think.
It doesn't say you had anything like uncanny dodge on.
No.
Evasion, normally dodges the way certain area effects. When you're subjected to effect, let you save it. Oh, when you make a dex saving throw that only takes half damage, you instead take none.
Oh.
There you go.
Neat.
All right. I think that's the first time that's been useful.
All right, so Vardrak, it is your turn.
Okay. We are. This is gonna be rough. I mean, because I could do that, but it'd not be bad. All right, screw it. Vardrak is gonna cast Blur on himself.
Isn't that a concentration spell?
It is. He doesn't have anything else concentration going, though.
Your mirror image isn't considered concentration?
It is not.
That is ridiculous.
Uh-huh. Okay, so that did apply to himself. Good. You know what? I'm going to do that as a bonus action. That's what I meant to do. There we go. Okay, so then he can still attack. Okay, let's try this. Shit.
That would not have hit.
And second attack.
That would hit. Why are you not targeting this thing? It's giant. It's a big old motherfucker.
Whatever. There we go.
But yeah, 23 does hit.
What he doing?
Chat. He attack, he cast, but most importantly, he batted perception.
Must be talking about Vardrak.
Someone else.
Clearly Vardrak.
Alright. He gets that hit off.
Yeah, so as you hit it, like, all three heads snap at attention to you.
Okay.
Bye.
He done.
All right. All right. What do you need to roll for your mirror image?
Oh shit. So 11 or higher this time.
Have at it, my friend. Have at thee.
Nope. So it hits him, but oh no. Oh, is that his dex save against whatever he's doing?
The initial one was,
Okay.
which you failed.
Right.
So it just hits you?
Yep.
All right. So this dog pounces at you and the mirror image, landing on you and knocking you prone. And as it has you pinned underneath this giant paw that is wider than your chest, it is just looking down at you, like frothing at the mouth, and it is dripping ice-cold drool onto your face. Fakta.
Well.
You are on the biggest bucking bronco.
Yeah. The way I plan on getting down from this is not friendly to the dog at all, but it just bounced on my husband, so I was gonna stab my dagger into it and like jump and slide down if I could. I don't know if that's a thing I can do.
Sure it is.
We'll try.
Go ahead and make a attack roll.
Sure, let me.
On the dog.
I remembered to target it.
Hey, thank you. You're the first one.
Why can't I roll at all? Oh my god.
Hey, go ahead and give me a dex save.
Oh, hey, I can do that. That should be. I don't
25.
know if yeah.
So you go to stab into the hide of this giant dog and slide your way down like a pirate down the sail of a ship. And as you put your body into the motion and go to stab, you realize that this hide is much thicker than you anticipated, and your blade does not puncture it. And as it does, you kind of skid off the surface, knocking out some of the hair, and you fall and just manage to roll back and catch yourself on your feet as you land right next to this giant dog, and one of the heads snaps and looks at you.
Batsu has my invisibility ring. This is the worst.
He gave it back.
Did he?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gave it back right after he used
I
it.
immediately put it back on. That's right. Yeah. Oh, wait, dogs can smell. So sight probably isn't great.
I mean, if you want to know if Vakta knows that, you could go ahead and give me an insight check.
I feel like that's common knowledge, but I could, I guess.
You're not even thinking about it right now.
Cool. Well, in that case, I'll activate the ring and use one of the charges and run back to where Vartrock is.
Okay, are you staying on this side of the wall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, avoiding the head if possible.
Yeah, you're seeing the head that was like looking in your direction is like sniffing and it's gazing in your general area as you run up next to Varjok, who's pinned underneath this massive paw, the claws of which come up to your knee.
And I already used my action to try to stab it, so I can't stab it again, right?
That is correct.
Cool. I'm just gonna wait. I got nothing.
Okay. Before Ravage's turn, Varjok, while you were pinned, this thing, the head that was like looking over top of you, with your exposed face, you just see these teeth coming at you. What do you gotta do for your? Oh wait, so when you get hit, does your mirror image go away, or is it still there?
Still there.
Go ahead and make that roll.
Okay. Wow. Why is it landing off of the chart?
I don't know, man.
Okay, it landed on it that time. Both of them succeeded, but it's not counting it on the list.
That happens to me all the time, and I don't know
Okay,
why. So I just roll again.
Yeah, I just rolled twice and wasted those rolls. And then when it fails, it counts. That's amazing. All right. Well, fuck me. Thanks.
So
is this a regular AC attack?
It is, yeah.
Doing dex?
No, it's an AC attack.
Okay, then he's going to pop his shield to block it then.
Do you need to be able to use your hands or anything to cast shield?
I mean, he's got Warcaster anyway, so I don't think that would matter. But let's see here.
Because you're like prone at this point. That's why I was asking.
Right. It says semantic, yeah. But like I said, he's got Warcaster, so he doesn't have to worry about that.
Doesn't have to worry about what?
Like having to use his hands because of the fact that he's trained with using both hands during combat and casting at the same time.
Perform the somatic components of the spell when you have weapons or a shield in one or both hands. When a hostile creature's movement provokes attack. Okay. So shield will what? Take you up 5?
Yes.
Okay, and that takes your AC up to 29?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me make sure it's actually applied. There we go.
Well, you don't have to do it at this point if it's an after the. Oh wait, because it lasts for the whole round, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So you see these giant teeth coming at you, and you manage to get shield off right as it goes down to bite, and as the shield flashes in front of it, it kind of backs off a little bit, and it like does that little like sneeze thing at you, just dousing your face with nasal juice.
Nasal juice. We had to
nasal juice. Nasal juice.
It is Ravage's turn.
He is going to turn, and he is going to first. Yeah, he'll use his second wind. Wow, he is so on a roll today. And then he's going to run over and he's going to start recklessly attacking at the paw that's on Vardrak. So boom, boom.
That's a hit.
Then second attack.
That is not a hit.
Okay. And he already used his bonus, so he's done.
So you like stab at the foot that's on you, and as he stabs, you feel more pressure pushed down on your chest, Vardrak, and you see the nails flex a little bit as this paw is bracing itself from this attack. The left front paw, and you see him making a motion with the right front paw slightly. And Rakar runs up a little bit. And Wow, he does not have many spells left.
That's good to know.
Third level spell. Fuck.
The hell did he use them on?
I don't know. But he has 4 first level, 1 second, 1 third, 1 fourth. That's it.
Did he not get a rest? What the fuck?
He did. I think this was all from the battle with the one thing.
Oh, yeah.
The centaur thing. So looking down at Vardrak, who's bleeding a little bit with this dog's paw planted on his chest. You hear him say something in like a hushed whisper. And you feel a slight soothingness. And he kind of gets behind your duplicate. And you see him do a familiar hand gesture as his bolt of cold shoots out and hits this dog. And can't regain hit points. Okay. And you see it just kind of scoff a little bit and look over in his direction. One of the heads still looking down at Vardrak with this growl. One of them still sniffing out Vakta, and the other one now it is splitting its attention between Ravage and Rakar. Why didn't I get my rear? Hey guy. No, you weren't supposed to. Okay, so it wouldn't have been this time anyways. All right. And disadvantage. So you see all 3 heads snap at different targets all at once. One bites Ravage. One bites down at Vardrak, but the shield prevents it. The other one, sniffing around, bites in the direction of where it smells Vakta and hits.
Ow.
Vardrak, you are prone underneath this giant paw of a dog.
What would he have to do to try and get from under that?
You need athletics.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna try and bust out of that. Wow.
He does not. You're free to do anything else that you would want to do as far as your attacks and whatnot, but they would all be at disadvantage.
Okay, I am curious how this would work.
Okay.
So let's find out. Yeah, he's going to cast blindness on this dog.
Okay. And as you cast it, you see its eyes, which are already just glowing blue, sort of milk over for a second, and then you just see just the vividness of the blue burst through it.
All right. Okay. So yeah, that would have been that. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do one more thing, and if that doesn't, well, no, I can't do that because that was a standard action. Okay, well, I guess there's nothing else he can really do right now.
All right.
Hold on. Wait, actually. Standard action. Fuck, this is terrible. Okay, he is going to send out his spiritual weapon.
Okay. And like as you like say the command and this thing comes out, with the other paw, it just swats at the weapon. It sort of knocks it backwards as it hovers right by you.
All right, he's done.
And as you do that, it just looks down at you, and again, it goes for this giant bite. And you're able to just duck your head just slightly out of the way as you feel the vibration from these teeth nipping the stone next to you. Vakta.
All right. Well, realizing that, the people I have left aren't doing well, Vakta's going to bolt over here, drop her invisibility, and I have that ultimate that's banked, so we'll do that. That'll be great.
I unbanked it for you. So what does she do?
So the minute she drops her invisibility, she pulls out her bow, and her blue eyes flash red for a moment before she unleashes this fiery bolt straight at the three-headed dog. Just all of her willpower and desperation to just protect the people she's with and get the rest of us out alive, since we've already lost two somehow. So it's just panic and sheer desperation driving this to get this over with and get everybody out.
All right, go ahead and do that.
All right, do I still have it targeted? Yep. Cool.
Yeah, so you let this bolt of this white hot arrow that just rips through the thick hide of this dog, and it lets out this yelp as it does, and it drags its paw off of Vardrak, and it's sniffing around. Is that your turn?
Yeah, after she goes invisible. Well, after she goes invisible, she's gonna dart back next to Vardrak and just kind of like tap his shoulder, let him know she's there.
Okay.
I don't want to do anything else to break the invisibility. I kind of want to keep it.
Yeah, after you do that, the dog yelps and it just like looks in your direction and it's gone, and all three heads now are sniffing. And oh, that's funny. You match it. So it pounces into the area where you were standing at before. And as it does, the room shakes slightly, and the wall that it was clawing at begins to crumble, and some of the larger chunks of stone are falling down. And this wall that you guys are standing by at this point is beginning to fall in. Ravages' turn.
Real quick, is that like falling in towards the stairs or falling in towards the room?
Towards the stairs.
Okay. That's complicated. That makes things a little more difficult.
Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?
Okay, Avril Lavigne, calm down.
No.
Wait, John, do you not like Avril Lavigne?
Do I look like I like Avril Lavigne?
I don't know if our friendship can continue.
Over Avril Lavigne, that's fair.
She's an attractive white girl. You probably like her.
I like her because she's an attractive white girl.
That is a hit.
Takes another swing.
That is a miss.
Okay. And
that is a miss as well. So the first stab manages to pierce through its hide, and as it does, it just turns and looks. And one of the heads still searching off to the side, sniffing around for where Vakta went.
he's going to trying to position himself between Vardrak until he gets to his feet in this thing.
All right. And Rakar. What? Okay. So Ricard, he motions his hand and he's like, wow. He's like, we need to get this thing and we need to get out of here. And then he shoots another bolt of ice, and you see it hit the fur and just kind of dissipate into it. And then he kind of looks a little panicked. He's like, now! And as he does that, the dog, again, all three of the heads point up into the air, and it just lets out this howl that shakes the room.
Asshole.
And as it does, actually, Vardrak.
Shit!
Yeah, Vardrak, I need you to roll the 11. Or, your D20 to see if that hits you or not.
Yep, it hits.
Okay, yep. So, as it does it, Ravage, Rakar, and Vardrak, you guys all feel this massive pain in your minds as this howl echoes through your skull. And the pain is so intense that all three fall unconscious. Vakta, you manage to
Hold on. I want one sec. I'm gonna use one lucky feet die to reroll my saving throw.
Sure.
Probably not gonna matter. Let's see. What did I roll last time? 10?
10.
Okay, did worse. Carry on.
Okay. And there's
I
a
don't
golden
like this.
golden D20 on the table.
Use it.
Okay, I use the D20. Is that an automatic D20 or is it just a reroll?
Just a reroll.
Oh. Oh, was it gonna be a 2 this time? Oh, 4.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck.
Carry on.
So all three of them fall unconscious, and yeah. So you manage to focus through this piercing howl, Vakta, and you see this dog looking up into the air, howling.
Alright. God, I have so much stuff in my inventory. I've gotta have a healing potion somewhere.
Cliff,
Yeah.
actually, Ricard cast that.
Oh yeah. Spare the dying. So you're at 0 hit points, I think, right?
I thought put you at 1.
Does it put you at
I
1?
could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know the spell.
Let me see what Spare the Dying does. Good call on that, though. Where was Bob on that call? Come on, Bob.
Yeah, fucking Bob.
Oh, hey, I'm stupid and did that wrong.
Stop it.
So the way it's supposed to work is if someone is unconscious, he touches them and brings them to 0 hit points automatically.
Oh, I thought it was the.
I thought it was too. I was wrong. It says you touch a living creature that has 0 hit points, the creature becomes stable. The spell has no effect on undead creatures. So that doesn't do anything there. But big boy Bobby man, Bob on the field. He did a thing. I just don't know what that thing is until I load this up.
Does Ricard have that spell at all? Because he, like Ricard, the character, would have known that.
Well, right. I gotcha. Mage armor, healing, toll the dead. You point a creature within range. Nope. Chill touch, greater flame, guidance, mending. Not that I'm seeing.
Because whatever that was, I know Reyna and Ukto both had it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing that for him. But Vakta, searching through your bag, you do find a greater healing potion.
Oh, I have a greater healing one? I know I have a potion of superior healing.
Wow.
Unless Bob played a card that had that.
Bob played a card that had that.
Cool, I'll use that.
Give me
On
4D.
Vardrock.
Give me 4D4 plus 4, please.
Alright, let me modifier 4 before I forget. 4.
All right, so you pour the potion to his mouth, and he coughs a little bit, but he comes to. You still have your action, bonus action, whatever you're gonna do.
I'm going to shove the potion of superior healing in Vardrak's hands. Whether he takes it or gives it to someone else is up to him, but I'm just shoving it in his hands, and I am staying there. I'm not attacking the dog again. I'll drop into a ready stance in case it does attack. And I'll attack it if it gets close and stab it, but...
So one bit of GM advice. If you give him the potion, then he has action and bonus action on his turn. If you leave it for him to use, he has to use an action to use it. And you have both your action and bonus action available.
And does Verdrug, like, is he aware, like, is he instantly still aware of everything going on, or is he kind of out of it at this point?
I mean, your vision's starting to come back into singular images, and the ringing in your ear is starting to subside, but for like another 4-ish turns, you're still gathering your bearings.
He is going to... Well, she's still invisible, right?
No. Wait, yes.
Yeah, I would be.
Yeah, well, would you still be invisible if you gave him a potion, though?
I think invisibility specifically says, like, attack.
Spell ends for a target that attacks or casts a spell.
Yeah.
And I did neither of those, technically.
Yep, so you're still invisible.
Hey!
He's going to...
Except the floating potion bottle.
Like, he knows what's going on, because, like, I would think he would know it's Vakta, because he can't see something, but clearly something's pouring potion into his mouth. He's... Get the phylactery and run.
She kind of forgets she's invisible for a moment and nods and doesn't say anything.
That sounds alright.
Vakta, baby, darling, honey.
She gave a thumbs up. I don't get the problem.
Try to tell me that's not in character for her. How dare
That's
you?
totally in character.
She's like...
So yeah, she's gonna bolt towards the dock and try to grab the phylactery and pull to see if she can just like grab and run.
Oh,
Yeah, we'll just go that way.
Give me a sleight of hand.
Oh hey, I am not terrible at that, so let's
For the record, she has a plus 15 in this.
So
Well, plus 16, I'm sorry.
did that roll or not?
It did. So you would have got a 26.
Okay.
Yeah, so, Vakta, you run up. As stealthily as you can, you manage to reach into this gyroscopic contraption that this phylactery is connected to. And you grab it, you tilt your wrist slightly to one side, tilt it forward, and you pull the phylactery out of this harness. And as you do, you feel this rumbling.
Cool.
As the entire room that you are in begins to quake.
Great. Cool. But I have it, right?
You do have it.
and I'm sure you have plenty of move action left.
Yup. I'm
Going to use a bonus action to disengage.
Uh-huh.
Yep. I was gonna say that.
I know.
Shut up. Bonus action disengage, running to at least where Ricard is, and as I'm on him going, run, get out of here, I've got it. I know if I should probably grab Ravage or something and
I mean,
Ricard so I can grab and pull him eventually, but
the only person that you're talking to though is Vardrak, because everyone else in the room is unconscious.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm hoping that he'll understand that means grab Ravage and go. But that's also hoping for a bit much.
Yeah, so as you take off running, you feel this burst of adrenaline and you heal for 3. As you start running down the hall, like hopping over the unconscious bodies of your fallen comrades. And as you get to the stairs, that old shoulder injury that you have begins to ache from reaching up and grabbing this thing from this dog that was taller than you, and you suffer 7 points of damage from your shoulder hurting.
Heal 3, hurt 7. You think it's that? I'm not convinced that Vakta and I are different people at this point. Because I swear that happens to my shoulder all the time.
Well, stop reaching up and stealing phylacteries from giant dragon-sized dogs.
Exactly.
It's
Can't
simple.
Help it. The dogs are so cute, and I just look, a phylactery.
It's simple, really.
Another one.
So you still have 5, 15, from 30, so 15 feet of movement. Or whatever, you can end your turn if you want to, because.
I'm gonna. I know it'll slow me down, but try to drag Ricard down the stairs. Like, I don't care if I just grab a foot and go. Like, we just need to get out of the range of the dog.
You wouldn't be able to actually. You wouldn't be able to actually do that as part of an action or anything for now. But yeah, you run past him and grab his leg and begin to move towards the stairs, which that just sounds like a bad idea.
I know.
2 death saves, 3 death saves.
We killed Chodo like that once.
Almost.
Almost.
So as the ground begins to shake and the room quakes and stones are falling from the ceiling, and this dog realized what happened, it's following this floating phylactery.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
And one of the heads bites at it and nips and hits Vakta.
Ow.
And after you feel the cold bite across your back, you see the shadow come over you as these giant claws are coming down on top of you.
Ow. Oh no. Oh.
And
I
this
don't like
dog,
this.
this dog is like clawing at you and biting, and it is like on your heel, and like it's pushing the wall in towards the inside of this room as it's squeezing through this opening at the top of the stairs. Vardrak, you are holding this potion of superior healing. Your vision starts to come together, and as soon as the ring in your ears stop and your vision comes to, all of a sudden everything just, you start seeing everything more clearly. Your dark vision enhances so strongly that you're seeing the fine details in the corners of the room that are encased in shadow.
Shit. And he sees this dog chasing after this floating phylactery at this point.
Yep, definitely.
Okay, so
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's probably over you, actually. With you laying down on the ground, it's probably, like, as it, like, jumped at her, you're probably looking up at its belly. You could probably determine the sex of this dog.
okay, so if she's invisible, shouldn't the attacks been at disadvantage against her?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Oh. I didn't, yeah.
Well, what's your AC? Because if he's got plus 17, it might not even matter.
Her
It doesn't
AC is
even matter.
15. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter.
Well, I guess it would if it
Rolled
was a
a 1.
So, just for shits and giggles here, let's do one more bite. One more claw. Oh, there you go. And one
Hey.
more claw. Okay, so one of those, so the second hit would not have hit.
Yay!
So 21 you get back.
My 8 hit points, thank you.
Okay.
So
Good
yeah,
call, John.
Vardrug brings up his hands and claps, and darkness just spreads around the full area as he like reaches over and grabs Ravage.
So, high or low?
Hi.
And as you do that, you completely smash this healing potion that you're holding.
Okay. Anyways, yes, he grabs.
Okay.
He grabs Ravage, and like by like kind of like the collar area.
Are you pulling him like a mother dog would pull a fucking puppy?
He doesn't have much to grab onto.
Okay.
And he knows that he's going to have to bolt down these stairs, and he doesn't want his head hitting every step on the way down.
Go ahead and give me an athletics.
All right. Hopefully, I can at least roll this well.
I mean, it is like your best rolling stat statistically. Yeah, there you go.
Oh wow, yeah. Excuse me.
And so yeah, he grabs him and he just starts bolting down the stairs.
Okay, so you're prone to use half of your movement to stand. And yeah, so you scoop up Ravage.
Yep, and going down as far as he can through the darkness. But definitely trying to like bring the darkness like right behind where he sees the Ricard's body starting to twitch and get dragged. He's just trying to cover like that whole area. So
what's the range on darkness? Is it 20 feet or 60 feet?
20. I want to say 20. Let me double check though.
It's like 20 or 60. It's stupid.
The range is 60. The range is a 15-foot radius.
Okay.
We were both wrong.
So yeah, so you want it like here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then however far down he can run down these stairs.
You can move 15, I think. You got 30 feet, right? Yeah, you can move 15 feet.
Yeah.
So Ravage in tow. So yeah, Vakta, you grab Rakar's foot and you begin to drag, and then all of a sudden, just absolute blackness.
One more thing actually, because Vardrug still has a bonus left.
Sure.
Okay. He's gonna use his spiritual weapon that's still floating in the room there. And his intention is to try and hit the dog on the right side of the token to kind of distract it, away from everybody else.
Okay, go ahead and do an attack roll. That's a hit.
And actually, there's one more on that. Okay.
And D4.
And a D4.
That's a 6.
Oh.
Cheating ass. Hey!
Same thing.
Okay. Yep, so you hit it, but and then you cast the darkness, start running, you hear the crack, or more like the thud of this spiritual warhammer slamming into the massive torso of this dog. And Vakta, you just hear the sound of Vardrak like running past you, just boot to stone, just do.
Cool. I'm gonna try to like slip my arm around Ricard, like in his armpits, and like try to hoist him up on my shoulder as I go down the stairs, because I don't want to drag him down by his foot. I remember what happened to Chodo. And I'm gonna 15 feet.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an athletics.
Oh yeah, I'm bad at that, but we'll do it. We'll try.
That's good.
That's not awful.
No, not at all.
Move to my +1.
Yeah. So you managed to sort of slump Rakar up and bring him down the stairs. And anything else you plan on doing on your turn?
Nah. That's just bonus action of movement. Just go a little further.
That you could do.
Cool. I'll go to here.
Yep. And I'm keeping the tokens out of the way, but I'm assuming that you have them.
Okay.
And as you're doing that, you hear the sound of stone crumbling, large stones. As you hear this dog jump and lunge at you guys running down the stairs and be stopped only due to the size constraints of this hallway. As you hear this dog growling, snarling, and pushing its way through, and you're hearing the stones crumble. And you're hearing, right behind you, Vardrak, you're hearing the sound of these jaws snapping. As they're biting in your general direction, as they're pushing, you're hearing the stones fall. Large, pumpkin-sized boulders are falling off of this wall and hitting the stair behind you and rolling past you. As you guys make it into this room, Vakta, you first notice some of the corpses that you couldn't see of these creatures have tumbled over, and the piles that were there have spilled out a bit due to the shaking. And you realize that it wasn't just that room shaking. You get the feeling that this entire structure is starting to break apart.
Great.
And with that, we are going to enter a chase. So using your skills at this point, Vakta, you come into this room, your initial feeling is that some of these corpses have fallen over. It looks like it's a completely open room, but you remember from being in there that there was a path that you had to walk through where there weren't walls of bug corpse.
Okay.
Using your skills, how do you plan on making your way through this room with Rakar in tow?
Looking at my skills, I'm just like, I don't. Would, if I'm trying to move carefully and quickly and just do everything I can to remain upright while getting through this, would that count as acrobatics?
Definitely, yeah.
Sure, let's go with that one. Are you kidding me? Mother...
Okay.
It's the extra D20.
Thanks.
I hate myself.
I
I can't re-roll that.
No. So as you head down their stairwell, you turn to where you remember the opening being, only to find there be a litter of these bug corpses. And as you attempt to step over, you feel this weight press on top of you as one of the walls of these has collapsed onto you. Vardrak.
Shit. Well, he wants to do a few things. I know we're in a chase here, but like as they're running, like he wants to get both of them back up on their feet so they can run under their own power.
Okay.
So
you're going to sacrifice your movement to try to...
Well, not sacrifice his movement. So like we are not going to have like our... Like, okay, so he's like towing Ravage. Like, can't he like use a lay on hands to get him and then keep moving or no?
Sure. I could see that.
Okay. So he'll do that and he'll use 5 points of that. Target. Okay, no longer targeting dog. Targeting Ravage. 1, 2, 3. Okay, give him enough and then skill check. Guess we'll lead him with athletics.
And what is your intention here?
His intention was to follow Vakta's path that he was seeing that she was going. Mm-hmm. And then I'm assuming he'd see that she fell over and can't see what's on her.
Right.
Or
so
how does that look?
Yeah, I mean, like you would see her kind of blocking as this stuff's on there. Like she's like weakened at burning Rakar. And you see her stop and like you could see it look like something pushes into her. But you don't actually see anything pushing into her.
Okay. So, I mean, it's safe to assume what it is. And his intention is going to kind of be like to run and like he kind of like lets go of Ravage now that he's awake and kind of shoulder charge into whatever's on top of her.
Okay. So you're going to go barreling through it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you charge through, knocking off what was on her and Rakar, and try to help her regain her balance. Ravage. He is now in the scenario that he doesn't really know what's going on. The place is falling in around him. He hears this dog breaking through the wall at this stairwell. He cannot use acrobatics or athletics. What skill is he going to use to attempt to get out of this situation?
Yeah, he like sucks at everything. Let's see, does he have any? No. Okay, so acrobatics, athletics. So, no. I guess we will try investigation to see if there is a clearer path, an easier path to get through this.
Sure. That sounds good.
Hey.
Yeah, so as Vardrak rushes in and is helping Vakta out, you see Ravage like searching about and finding like the corpses that are on there, and he's like pushing them to the side, and he's like motioning for everybody like, this way, come this way. And you guys hear the howl of the dog as you see a large chunk of the wall come sliding down the stairs, and you can start to see this dog's snout like yipping and snipping through the opening as he's trying to push his way through this wall.
Now, question: does the dog have anything that? This is just for my information.
Sure.
Does he have anything that is helping him see through the darkness that was up there, or he's just
see through it? No.
okay?
But he has damn good smell and damn good hearing.
Yeah, I figured.
So yeah, and then other than that, just his sheer size is what's allowing him to barrel through this wall right now.
Yeah.
Vakta, without using acrobatics.
I'm still chugging along with the car.
Yep.
Shut up, Bob. That won't work.
Calcifer.
Oh, can you see Calcifer?
It's back there, just licking himself.
Yeah, he doesn't care who sees him.
TOS.
Hold on, I got him blocked. All right, so
Censored.
I know Ravage said this way and just started plowing through, but can I use perception to see if that's actually a good way to go, or if there's a better way?
Sure.
Yay! Wait till I find out that's exactly the way I should be going, and he was right all along.
So what you notice is a large crack forming in the ceiling.
Neat,
And
great.
as you push Ravage to the side, this giant 15-foot chunk of the ceiling hits the ground, crushing everything. You guys just hear this giant squish and see that acid blood innards squirt out from all angles. And you guys can hop on top of this this snowy stone ceiling that has fallen down and have a more direct route towards the exit.
Fuck yeah.
But you're still towing Ravage, or Rakar rather, so your movement speed is still limited.
That's fine. That's something.
I know this is going to be tough for you, Vardrak, but you're going to have to do this without athletics or perception.
No, not my perception.
I think you perceive a 15-foot chunk of ceiling.
Barely. Before you do anything, go ahead and give me a d20, please. As you see this thing fall and you're gaining your bearings and you see Vakta hop on top of this chunk of stone, you hear this crackle of thunder from behind you, and you hear the dog yelp a little bit.
Kind of like, can he like peer back without, like, just for a second to see what's going on without? Really
Not without using perception. I mean,
Damn
if you
it.
turn, all you can see is just like I said before, like just the very tip of the dog's snout, like biting in the opening from the stairwell here.
Okay. Oh, can he also, like, as he's running along, like, also keep having the hammer, like, pinging this thing in the back of the head to try and distract it?
You could try, but I'm not sure that will work too well.
Okay.
But if you want to give me an Arcana check, that could be your thing to do.
Hmm. Let's try it. Wow. He missed.
So as you see this all going on and you are gauging the situation, you attempt to have your hammer do that, but the dog doesn't seem dissuaded at all. All right. What's Ravage gonna do without using investigation, arcana, or perception?
He is going to use. Trying to think of a logical way. He will use survival.
Okay. To do what?
He is trying to make sure that they are taking the proper course of action to get out of here.
That doesn't really fit what survival would be for.
Or if he's trying to decide if the no. Okay, he will try and use animal handling to see if there's another way to distract their pursuer to kind of throw it off their trail.
I'll allow that one.
Okay. Hey, not bad.
Not bad. So he rips off a hunk. He like reaches down and just rips one of these things in half, and he is like making like this animalistic noise as he throws it in the direction of the dog. And for a second, you see the dog back off and is sniffing around to try to see if one of these things is attempting to attack it. As this is going on, there's another huge quake, and snow starts to pour in from the hole in the ceiling, and the room is beginning to get colder and colder, and you're seeing cracks forming on the walls of this room that you're in. Vakta. No athletics, no perception. I'm sorry, no acrobatics, no perception.
I'm still carrying this stupid phylactery.
Phylactery in one hand, Rakar in the other.
I know. Could I use while I'm moving insight to try to remember if the queen said anything on how to destroy it, or if she just said it needed to be destroyed? 'Cause I don't know if Vakta would remember, but I feel like destroying this might help us.
Yeah, go ahead and give me an insight.
I got nothing.
So yeah, you don't recall the conversation. You don't recall if you were supposed to destroy it, or if you were getting it to be able to destroy it, but not destroy it yet. You remember that there was destroy and phylactery in the same sentence, but the assembly of how that went, you're not really crystal clear on.
So about the same as Melissa. Cool. Can I still keep moving with Rakar as?
You don't make any progress. No.
Oh, great, cool.
You guys are 2 failures deep. Vardrak. No athletics, no arcana, no insight.
Piece of ceiling that came down. Ravage already pointed the direction, the path to get out of here. Did not seeing Vok to make much progress on that last one. He just starts yelling to everybody, like, everyone move now, now, now. He just keeps yelling that louder and louder. And he's going to use intimidation to try and motivate everyone to move their ass.
Intimidation's not really good motivation, but yeah, go ahead.
I mean,
you got the wrong shun.
Fear is a pretty good motivator.
Yeah.
You got the wrong shun there. Yeah, so you pick up and start moving as that happens. And as you're bending the corner, you see that there's this like cloth satchel in the room that looks like it was knocked loose from the ceiling. And as you're moving by, you grab it, and you find that there are 249 gold coins inside of it.
Yay.
And now you're over encumbered.
Yeah.
No.
About to die a little richer.
All right, Rakar. A little bit more fearful than he was moments ago, but not able to use insight, intimidation, animal handling, or what was the first thing he used? I don't even remember now.
Well, is he awake?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ravage.
Oh. Yeah, he used animal handling last time. And
investigation.
Yeah, there we go.
So no investigation, no animal handling, no intimidation, no insight.
I'm gonna say but I don't want to take that in case. Shit, this system is penalizing for the more players that you have. Should have left him unconscious.
Well, no, because it's successes versus failures. It's not.
Oh.
I'm not going to tell you how many successes you got. I'm definitely going to tell you how many failures you got, though.
Thanks.
Much more fun that way.
I hate it.
So, is it are we trying to meet a certain number that we are allowed to know or not?
You're just trying to get out of there.
Okay. I guess since it looks like he successfully fooled this creature for the moment.
Uh-huh.
He is trying to more stealthily move out of the room so his movement doesn't draw its attention back on them any sooner than it would otherwise.
Sounds good.
Oh boy. 13?
So as quietly as he can, he begins to make his way through. And you know what I forgot to do last time? That, and then... Alright, so Rakar should be stable now, I think, right? Yeah, that's 3 saves to 1 fail for that. So he is stable, but he's still at 0 hit points. So What's Ricard gonna do?
Well, I mean, isn't that the difference between 0 and 1 though? It's like 1 you can still function, and 0 you're just useless still, just not dying.
Yeah,
Or
I
how
mean,
do
I
you
guess you
see
could
it,
argue
you
that.
guys?
No, that makes
Can
sense.
he heal himself?
I'm trying to see what it would mean if he is stable. If that allows him to do anything, or if he's just there.
He's just looking drunk, like, oh, hi, Voxa.
Oh yeah.
Doing?
No, he's creepy enough. We don't need that too.
Character who is dying but has stopped losing hit points and still has negative hit points is stable. Character is no longer dying but is still unconscious. Okay. If the character has become stable because of aid from another character, then the character no longer loses hit points. 10% chance each hour of becoming conscious and disabled. If the character becomes stable on his own, hasn't had help, he's still at a risk of losing hit points. Each hour, there's a 10% chance of becoming unconscious and disabled. Otherwise, he loses 1 hit point. So he's still unconscious, so he's not going to be much of a help. You hear him kind of murmur some words to himself, but you feel all the dead weight still on you.
Hey, Cliff, could you move the map a bit?
Yep, I just saw that. I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Yep. So, with that being said, Vakta.
How about athletics to just power through and keep moving forward?
You sure can.
Oh, we reset? Cool.
We didn't reset. She hasn't used that
I
one.
haven't used athletics.
Oh.
Yeah.
You are not athletic.
I'm not athletic. I was just like, what's something where I can keep moving? I'm struggling to move. Cool.
As you attempt to do this, you lose grip of Ricard and drop him and have to stop to pick him back up.
Cool. Neat. So I don't move forward at all?
You don't.
Cool.
Hey, Vakta, go ahead and give
Yeah.
me a dex save, please.
I'm decent at that, so
Mhm.
let's, hope.
What the fuck?
What the hell? I'm changing my dice color.
Do some manual rolling, maybe.
So it's a 25 still, so I mean, like...
I wanted to let that happen, but I did roll a 1.
Well,
So,
yeah, but
if you want to say that it's a 25, then yeah, sure, it's a 25.
it is a 25. Ones only matter on attack rolls for that,
Okay.
unless you roll multiple ones. If you roll multiple ones, then nah, you don't get to. Actually, with me saying that, can I have another D20?
Don't pull a Jake.
Or do pull a Jake, because that was entertaining. So, as you're picking Ricard up, you see another large chunk of the ceiling coming down as the room begins to shake more violently. The westernmost wall, which would be the one to your right if you're facing down, you see buckle and then burst due to the pressure, and snow and debris begins flooding into this room. You get the feeling that if you don't get out of it soon, you may be trapped inside of it. Vardrock, your turn.
Great. So he can use things that other people have, but he can't use the same thing that he's used.
Right, you can't use anything that you've used or anything else that has been used during that round.
Okay. That one.
Do you guys feel the tension as you're getting to the point where all your strong skills are no longer there? You
My
will
strong
if you
skills
start.
don't involve moving.
Oh, you might want to find some of those strong skills for moving. Because your feet are cold right now as the snow is piling in around your ankles.
Thanks, Cliff.
You're welcome.
Can he use maybe insight to determine once they're out of this next room if they should go left or right?
Sure.
All right. Wow, it was at 18 and then knocked backwards.
You are debating amongst yourself whether you should go left or you should go right. Thinking about right had the gate and the statues, left would probably be more like a direct route, but you're still going to have to figure out how to get through that main room with all of the snow and everything in it. And as you're trying to make this decision, you hear the wall behind you buckle and turn to see snow spilling out around Vakta. Ravage.
Shit. Okay, so he hasn't used athletics.
No, but Vakta used it this round.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Okay, so at this point, the room is collapsing in. Fuck. And does it look like to him that she's in trouble?
He can use perception to try to figure it out.
I don't want to do that. He sucks at that. God damn it.
Yeah, actually, it's like Vakta immediately puts him at disadvantage with perception. Because he turns around and she's like, oh, she's so pretty, instead of, oh, she's in trouble.
Accurate.
I mean,
So
he's
if you
just
do
seeing
perception,
her-
you have to do it at disadvantage now because of the description.
Vardrox is seeing her run in slow motion, her hair just moving majestically. Just not what's happening.
All the snow turns to rose petals. It's like anime eyes. And just,
The snow, like
she's
like
screaming, holy
bouquets and the
motherfucker!
like.
And he's like, ah.
But it sounds more like, holy motherfucker.
So yeah.
But it's Ravage's turn, not Vardrox.
Yeah.
Which just made that entire scenario a little weird.
He is going to try to use acrobatics. He wants to attempt to, because she still has Ricard. So it seems to me that he would try to get them out first. So can he just kind of like turn, grab them, and just swing them with the momentum using his acrobatics to throw them forward before continuing himself?
So you're trying to sacrifice his advancement for Vakta's.
It's what he would do as their bodyguard.
That sure. Go ahead and give me an
Oh, my fuzzy boy.
acrobatics.
Oh boy. All right, big fella. I need you to roll good this time. All right. Here we go. High numbers. Oh, needed higher than that.
So you have 9 player points.
Fuck. Okay, I'll use 2 for a reroll.
Okay.
Oh, it ended on 13 and it went off the fucking board again. What is wrong with this thing? I don't want to double click. It's double clicking. It sucked today.
I think there's an error between the interface and the
Shit.
chair.
Yeah, it's.
It's been
I had a
happening to me too. It's not just John. I'm just less whiny.
Like that's the second roll I've lost because it's not counting my shit. This is whatever.
For the record, I have been double clicking all night.
I never double click. It's terrifying. I never do it.
It's terrifying. So Ravage ducks back and attempts to swing Vakta forward. But due to all the snow and the stone starting to ice over, he loses footing and he falls next to Vakta. As this room is slowly starting to cave in. Vakta, you just seen this happen, so you have a snow baby in Ravage on the ground, Rakar in hand. Vardrak's the only one that's made it into the hallway, and you sense the imminent collapse of this room.
I can't help Ravage. My hands are full. The most I can do is just get out and hope that he can follow.
If only you had like a bag or something you could put the phylactery in, and then you wouldn't have to hold it. It's really a weird paradigm.
Yes, but I don't even know what skill. Like, I'd have to use a skill to help him up, wouldn't I? Because that's how this is working.
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna let me know what your intentions are and what skill you plan on to do. What you're gonna do?
Vardrak has his hand outreach, like, come on.
All right. I've got this. I can do this. I can't do this. All right. I'm gonna pocket the phylactery and sleight of hand to kind of adjust how I'm balancing Rakar to see if I can also help up Ravage and kind of push one of them forward towards Vardrak. Probably Ravage because it'd be easier. So, so hoping that trying to keep everyone balanced, I can move forward through this.
Oh my god.
It's difficult. This sucks.
So out of curiosity, do you plan on maybe attempting to like slip the phylactery in like Rakar's bag or Ravage's bag? Because sleight of hand kind of calls for you to be doing something deceptive with your hands. So if you're attempting to like slip the phylactery onto one of them and then in the ruse of picking him up or something, you know, that might work.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Okay. So who are you trying to
Ravage is less creepy. I trust my hairy puppy more.
Okay. So go ahead, give me a sleight of hand check. I think that's a mild success.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's only a 33.
Yeah, so you slip the phylactery, like tuck it into like the side of like his like belt, like in a pouch, like as in like one fluid motion as you like grab him and hoist him up as you guys make your move out of this room. Vardrock.
Does he need to assist anyone else through that passageway?
I mean, they're moving in your direction.
And it looks like they're going to make it okay if they keep going heading in the same.
And you can use your perception to try to figure that out. I mean, they look like, from what you could tell, they are heading in your direction without actually stopping to focus on the scenario. You see them heading in your direction.
Are you trying to kill us, Cliff?
Why you trying to use a skill sneakily without using a skill?
Cause.
So understand the situation you guys are in. This place is caving in around you. You guys are making these split-second decisions. So you really don't have time to gather your thoughts to do something unless gathering your thoughts is what you are doing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
Like you got to figure that all of this has happened in like less than 30 seconds from when you guys ran down the stairs. This place is falling apart with you in it.
Okay, he's not. It looks like that they might make it at least out of this room, and we're gaining some distance from the dog. He's gonna encourage everyone. Look, follow me. I know what to do. And he thinks he knows what to do, so he's gonna try and persuade everyone to take his lead.
Okay.
He's pretty persuasive.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see if
I'd say so.
Yeah, 4.
You know he's only got a pussy ass +5 on it.
I know, right?
Yeah. So you get everyone's attention, and they all nod in agreement as you start mustering your way through here. And as Ravage, actually no, it's not. It's Ravage's turn.
No, Cliff. I like where you were going with this. Okay, what is he free to use though? Has he used athletics yet?
He has not.
Aha, he's gonna use that to push everyone forward. Like he's just bringing up the rear and just kind of like he's in the back of like a fucking frontline rush in football.
Yeah,
those are words that make sense to somebody. That's not me.
So he like grabs Vakta even tighter and like drops a shoulder and like pushes into Vardrock, and you guys into the hallway. As you guys hear this crack and the door frame buckles and collapses right behind you guys. You're seeing the floor in here is eroded and cracked, and the walls are cracking, and the ceiling has a bow to it. You guys all have the impression that this entire place is coming down. The chase portion of this is no longer in effect. But you guys are in a room that is a building, a structure, a cavern that is collapsing around you.
Vardrock is going to, like, he looks back to check to make sure everyone made it through, and he's just gonna like palm Rakir's head and throw one lay of hands on him. Let's see, who am I targeting right now? Targeting Ravage. So boom, boom. Oh, nope. Because I'm still Ravage. There we go. Okay. And he's gonna keep running through, and the first thing he wants to check is, as soon as he gets about here, is where, like, where are those statues? Are they still in the last place they saw them, or have they moved again?
You do not see any statues.
Okay. And the room that they were in before, past the gate, you said that there was water dripping down some rusted chains, right?
Correct.
Does it look like there's any water like starting to spill in that room?
That you immediately notice, but you can give me a perception check if you want to try to take a more detailed look.
Sure, let's try it. Hey.
Hey, look at that. Vakta would be proud.
I am proud.
You run to the doorway and stop and take a quick glance, and you don't see any water. And as you take a deep breath, kind of catching wind from what's going on right now, you notice that you can see your breath very vividly, milliseconds before you realize how frigid it feels in this opening right now.
Okay. Does he still have that like enhanced vision or whatever right now?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And is he noticing anything to the left when he looks?
Nothing that you didn't notice before. I mean, other than the wreckage that is being caused here. I mean, there's cracks. That ramp going up, the middle has buckled out slightly, so you can see that there's areas where you can still go up at an incline, but there's areas where it's caved slightly. In the room that you're looking in, even the room to the side there, you see that there are chunks of the ceiling that have fallen. There's snow on the ground in certain areas that have come from where some of the rocks have dislodged.
Okay, and looking and inspecting the ceiling areas where the rocks have come down, collapsed. Like when he looks up, like is there anything beyond that? Like is he seeing anything?
You're seeing more stone, some snow. It appears that you guys are underground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking for a way through. Okay, he's gonna lead everyone forward then down this hall.
You see there's some nice rugs on the ground.
Damn those people. And then cut down this way.
All right.
And as he looks left, what does he see down?
So like, you mean if you're facing downward, I assume you mean, right?
Right, yeah.
You just see that there's a set of stairs that lead into a room with another set of stairs, and the same type of thing. I mean, you're still feeling the rumbling of this place quaking. You're still seeing stones falling and the just random debris and rubble, and it is getting very, very cold.
All right. Oh, this is not good. Oh, this is really not good.
No. We're gonna have to go through the cold.
Yep.
I don't want to go through the cold.
Yeah, me neither.
Like, as you turn and look at Vakta, like, with her being bloodied, like, the wounds on her have frozen. Any blood that was dripping is now solid and frozen on her. Similarly, she would notice this on you.
I hate this. I think the most we can do is just run through. Get out of here as quick as we can.
Yeah, he's going to start running up the ramp. Well, up the stairs there. I want to check on something real quick. Extra affinity, extra attack from the magic. There's meta magic. Here we are. Oh, equal to the spell's level. Okay, fuck it. No, not yet. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Like 2 boss fights and now this shit's collapsing in and everyone's fucking dying. Like, I'd like to fix everything, but that's not gonna happen.
It's fine. Well, we're just dying. It's okay.
Yeah, gonna run all the way up here and look down the hall and see what he sees.
As you make it to this room, you start to feel that scratchy feeling in your throat.
Say, hold your breath. We have to push through and move as fast as you can. And he's going to keep trying to run through to the other side.
So Rakar gives, as you guys are saying that, Rakar is digging through his bag, and he pulls out 2 potions of healing, and he gives one to Vakta and one to Vardrak. He's like, "Take these before we go, you fools."
Oh.
You both go ahead and roll me 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus what?
2. And then you should get, what? Is it plus 5 healing only for yourself? Do you remember?
That's only from, like, divine magic, though.
Okay. And he, as he's giving that to you, and you guys pop the tops off of these and begin to slam them, left 3, 4.
Oh, I forgot to tick that off.
3. All right. At a 4. He heals Vardrak for that. Vakta for that.
Neat.
Himself for this. You're just seeing like him like moving his hands in these motions, and every time he does, there's this pulse of energy. And where's it at? Hey, where's it at? Where'd it go, guys? And Rakar for that. And after he's done doing it, like he's like panting and out of breath. He's like, all right, we need to move now.
So after he does all that, who is looking still like they are the most fucked up?
Rakar looks pretty fucked up. Ravage looks pretty fucked up.
Okay.
Vardrak looks pretty fucked up.
So the whole party still.
Vakta looks pretty good. Vakta, you see the Vakta's wounds have like healed up, but she still has like ice crystals of blood, like frozen blood on her face.
Okay.
So the answer is yes.
Yeah. All right, so he's gonna twin a spell. It's not gonna be much, but he's going to target himself and Rakar. That was a lousy roll, but 6 more healing. Well, his own would have been another +3.
All right.
Okay. And then, yeah, gonna take off running.
All right. And where are you going to?
And continue
You're running
up.
forward, right?
Yep, forward, and then going straight down the hall.
Everybody go ahead and give me a Constitution save, please.
I'm not good at those. I did okay.
Decent. So you guys all hold your breath and run through, and as you make it closer towards the end there, you start noticing that scratchy feeling going away. As you get to this doorway, though, you see that the doorway is about half blocked with ice, and you guys can just hear the of this icy torrent that's just blowing about in the circular room ahead of you.
Oh, this again. I hate this. I don't like this.
Putting a hand on the ice, like how thick does it feel like? Does it feel like it's super
Like at
solid?
least like 3 or 4 C's.
Let's see.
I mean, you could tell that, I mean, the ice is probably 4 or 5 feet thick and takes up almost half of this opening here with between ice and snow piling up on it. And as you peer into the room, you can see that like there's sort of a divot in the middle, but the room itself has like these huge slopes of snow and ice forming this like bowl-like shape around the interior of this room.
Okay.
And like as you're looking at that, you hear this loud thud as the back room that you guys were coming from, another large chunk of the ceiling collapses and more snow spills in.
Is it just like how much snow is coming through here?
Yes.
So it's just continuous.
Yeah, you have like this spillage of snow pouring in right now.
Okay. Well, this is our way out. I can try and start burning through it, but once it's open, it's gonna get really cold in here. To be honest, we might not all make it.
As Vakta's digging through her backpack, she's just like pulling things out, stuffing them back in, like rearranging everything, and it's just like, if someone has a grappling hook, I have rope. We could try to go out through the ceiling. That's all I've got. That's all I could think of to do if we can't make it through here.
Vardrug looks past her. Is there still like a geyser of snow coming through?
It's still spilling, yeah. I mean, it's to the point where like you have like this spillage coming in, and it's filling up like this back area of the room over here. Where you guys obviously are not anymore.
and doesn't show any signs of slowing or clogging.
I mean, in the few seconds that you guys have had this conversation, not yet, no.
Okay. We would need a clear opening for that grappling hook to be useful.
And Rakar's like, I know I definitely don't have a grappling hook.
All right. I surprisingly don't have one, and I will fix that the minute we get home.
Rav is just like, I have a spear.
Vardrak just kind of looks at Vakta in thought for a moment. And he looks over to Rakar and he says, Sir, if you still can reach out to the Dark Lady, I think now would be the time. We need a way out of this.
I don't think he can. He cannot. And he's just looking at you like panting, tired, like, I don't have enough strength to even attempt to reach out right now. And by the time I get a hold of whatever, it might be too late. I can explain all about this once we get out of here.
Okay.
Alright, so nobody has a grappling hook. I don't want to trust a spear. No offense, Ravage.
I don't get offended.
Of course not. Really, I have all this crap and I don't have a grappling hook. Well, that's fine. That's fine.
Rakar pulls out his sword and he like waves his hand over it and this green flame lights up over it. I can help you with getting rid of that chunk of ice.
It's not the ice. At least the ice wall I'm worried about. It's once we get it open. Cliff, I just sent you a message.
For me? Where'd you send it at? Facebook?
Facebook. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. What it say? What it do? Why Facebook so goddamn slow?
Because it might be epic if it works, but
Vakta's putting on her fox fur cloak. Because apparently I still have that with me.
So I would say the answer to your question would be no. As the things that pertain to, you feel would have more of a direct result towards the matter at hand, other than there's not really a whole bunch of other utility to it. It's a pretty sacred and finite thing.
Yeah. Fuck.
All
right. Everyone just cover up as best you can. Like anything that you can wrap around yourself to protect you from sheer cold is going to help here. We're going to have seconds once this comes down to push through here.
right. Vakta's got her fox fur cloak and is also wrapping herself up in the most perfect blanket.
Not the blanket.
Yes, the blanket. Any layer of warmth.
Vardrak's got his dire wolf cloak. He's pulling the hood up and everything, um, tying it around so it doesn't like blow up from the wind.
Yeah, Rakar pulls up his hood.
That's all he's
just
got.
like,
goes
yep.
ready.
Ravage just like, go.
Oh god.
I am gonna pull the phylactery back out of Ravage's pockets and put it back in mine.
Are you trying to do this stealthily, or are you just like,
No,
give me
I'm
the
just,
damn
just
phylactery?
like, oh yeah, there's this thing, and pull it back out. Just like, not even explain how it got there. Just like, oh, honey, I should take this back.
Oh.
Okay. He tells him, he's like, okay, get behind me and get ready. As soon as I start moving, you have to do your best to keep up. And then he turned, like he's like rubbing his hands together. It's like you see fire forming around his hands and kind of getting bigger and bigger. And he looks over to Vakta one more time and says, "You're right behind me, right?"
As always.
All right. So he is going to hurl this fire forward, and he's going to use control flame to keep trying to make it bigger and sustain it so it doesn't go out. And he's going to just kind of cover the whole entryway in this fire and hold it there and keep pressing it forward.
And as you're doing that, you're seeing the ice melt and the hole begin to get bigger and bigger. And as it does, you're feeling this gust of wind that's combating the flames, and you have to focus more and more with this to control this fire from being extinguished from this gust of cold air that's bursting through.
He's going to step forward a little bit as he's pressing it and just kind of hold his concentration and keep pushing it in, pushing until it looks like, till he feels that it's like it goes through. And the idea is that once it feels like it goes through, he wants to kind of, if as much as he can sustain it, turn that wall of fire into kind of like a wall of fire. And see if he can sustain it around them through.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
I'm sorry, you cut out there for a second.
I said go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
All right. Shit. That's lucky feet that.
This will be your second one.
Actually, I used one in the previous fight, it looks like, so that was his last until he rests.
You have 7 player points.
Yep.
Whew, okay. That's slightly better. All right. So you're doing this. You push through. This turret blows the flame back like this huge backdraft at you, and you manage to brace yourself and wrap it around, and you create like this bubble around the party of fire. As you guys are standing in this room and feeling this cold air blowing through and seeing it sort of being mitigated by this bubble of fire.
And he goes, "Move now!" And he just starts charging forward.
Is everybody following?
Yes.
And I'm just gonna assume the other two are too, because like they're not here to tell me no. I need everybody to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh! Yay! Oh, Ravage, no, my baby.
Oh my god. Sin's gonna lose 2 characters.
Oh god.
He ain't even here.
Sin should have been here.
This is all his fault.
Right. He's not allowed to go celebrate his kid's birthday.
Right.
22.
Well, how many player points would Sin have if he was here? Or does he currently have?
8.
I would think he'd use one here, right?
He would, yeah, but I think kind of one of the predications of a player point is there has to be a player.
I mean, he's with us in spirit.
You know what? 3. We'll do it this way. We are basically at a community event.
Oh boy.
So,
no.
I will leave this up to you. Should Ricard get a re-roll? Now we're definitely at the community event. Should Ricard get a re-roll? Yes. No. And just to be a dick. Insta-death.
No. No.
My god.
Because let me just say this.
Dude.
Let me just say this. The amount of damage that he is about to face is 18d10. Which means if I roll a 1 on everything, he takes 18 damage, right? He only has 22 hit points. So, the way I see it is there's really no chance of him surviving this.
And then Sin would have no characters.
I mean, Sin will always have characters. It's just not going to be the ones that you guys know and love. So, exclamation point, vote 0, yes, he should get a reroll. Exclamation point, vote 1, no, he should not get a reroll. And exclamation point, vote 2, he just dead. I like how Allie was like, ... and then,
Yeah. She's rubbing her hands together.
So it looks like we got 2 votes that yes, he should reroll. Adding insta death made it really difficult. See, I know how you guys think.
Quit tempting people to the dark side.
Golden Rose, you'd have to do vote space 0 for it to work. Otherwise, it's, I don't know, syntax, man. It just doesn't like to work if you don't do that. I really like the instant death option. See, I know my audience. 3 votes for yes. Give it like 30 more seconds. So here goes the real kicker for you guys, though. I'm gonna do this fucking reroll, and he's gonna roll like a nat 1.
I know.
all of this build up and tension, and it's just gonna be like, Brow. Sorry, Allie, you can't change your vote.
Oh no.
Once you vote, the vote is locked in.
What we?
And that would be an appropriate end. Yeah, I mean that's all the chances. So, going once, going twice. Poll is closed in like 10 seconds because of the stream delay, so I'll give it a little bit of time. Okay. So with that, let's go ahead and give him a reroll.
He rolled a 3.
He did, which is better than... Oh, he rolled a 1 last time. Oh, shit. It's a lot of die.
Oh, well.
So, I have good news and I have bad news for you guys.
How about we only get the good news and ignore the bad?
Okay. So, the good news is, you guys all make it through this room. And your shield is able to mitigate against most of that cold. As you guys go into this open area, you see all of the statues have reset back into their positions. Only this time, they all seem to be standing into a gesture of like almost pointing towards the exit. As you guys get through into this opening, you hear this sound as the giant dog comes crashing through the side, the western area, breaking through the wall, running towards you guys. You manage to dive out into this cave opening on the outside of this area as you see this dog moving towards you, and then you see all of this rubble and debris fall, caving in the opening as you guys are sitting in this cave system watching this structure just cave down.
And looking, what happens to the dog as it's all caving in?
You see like large chunks of it hitting it, and the dog kind of taking the blow and shrugging it off, and then the entire ceiling comes down on top of the dog, and you see it just be pushed down before the dust and debris obscures the vision, and by the time that clears, all you see is rocks and snow and rubble blocking your view.
Oh. Just kind of just watching him breathing heavily. Like Vardrack doesn't even say anything at first. It's like he like closes his eyes and just kind of rubs his forehead, and it's kind of like he's trying to think or clear his head or something. And then he turns and starts walking out towards the opening. And when he gets to back to the top where the house was and everything, he wants to look to see if everything just kind of caved down on top. Like he wants to see the damage from the surface view.
Yeah, so I mean, as you get out there, you notice that there is a large portion of the mountainous range that was there that is buckled down and is significantly lower, is caved down. You can see that there's like still rocks that are tumbling down as the cave-in has displaced some of the other natural formations, and there is just this slide of rocks and debris that are falling down the mountain. You see a large pile at the back of the house, and the house is pretty much the only thing that has stopped it from moving forward.
And does the collapsed in part, does it look like it takes the shape of like it filled in like this whole cave system that was there?
That would be really hard to determine. You can see that there's areas that are lower, but there's parts of the mountain that go up 30, 40 feet. And you can see where some of this caved in and it's created these like overhangs, but there's still a mountain there.
So it's a mountain on top of probably the area where Batsu was, huh?
It would be really hard to determine from there.
Mm,
And he walks back over to the rest of the group that I'm assuming followed him out.
Nope, they all died.
Oh, damn.
bye.
Did you get the phylactery?
Vakta's just kind of like pulls it out of her pocket and just like, here. Just, this is what we've got. The minute I grabbed this, everything started falling apart. So I'm assuming this is it.
He holds him, looks at it, and says, we lost 3 people for this. And he puts it in one of his pouches and secures it tight.
Who's the third?
I was gonna say we lost 2 people.
Taldir.
It was
They
Taldir,
think-
Batsu.
Oh, that's right. Ricard made it. I wrote him off as dead. Like as soon as he rolled the 3, I'm like, yep, oh, he's gone.
Because of you having the fire shield around, I would just gave it a 10
Okay.
for save.
Let's find somewhere to rest and let's go home.
Yeah. When we get home, I'll let Megami know what happened.
Yeah. You'll have to find out how much progress he's made with networking, and you might have to take over until we find a replacement.
I can do that.
Yeah, he's just gonna look around for like a nearby place where they can rest up.
Yeah, you guys get, quite a distance away from this collapsing mountain. And you're able to set up camp. And you're looking over at Ricard, and Ricard looks just completely drained at this point.
I'm gonna give him some wine. Don't laugh at me. And just that's how Vakta takes care of people. She can't do any magic. She's got no potions. She just gives out wine.
And he takes it and he sips it, and he's just like got his bed sprawl laid out, and he's just something feels wrong. I'm normally not this drained.
I'm not gonna be with all this on my mind, so at the very least, it's been going on with this connection between you and Tiamat.
I have studied Tiamat's word since I was a child, and I've always felt a connection, if not with her, with something that upholds her meaning. And even when your priests were having trouble connecting and reaching out, I was still able to get answers. And I do not know if it was from Tiamat, but some of these answers guided us to your city after Sea Bluff, and I believe that the reason that we are traveling together now is because of these words that I spoke with whomever.
That's what bothers me, is that there's no way to be sure. But I guess it doesn't matter now. Why did you keep this from everyone?
I didn't necessarily keep it. It's just they prayed and they did it their own way, and I did it my own way. I didn't want to raise the wrong questions. I knew in my heart that it was Tiamat's guidance that made these events fall into place, and the reason that we're all still alive, most of us at least.
All right. Well, you don't look well. Do you? You look actually paler than usual. I didn't think that was possible.
I don't feel right.
Oh, get some rest. And he looks over his shoulder at Asha. She'll look after us while we sleep. And we will discuss more on our trip back home. And he gets up, walks back over to where Vakta is, and starts getting ready to get sleep. And he just kind of like lets out a long sigh and just kind of staring up at the stars.
What are we gonna do with the phylactery? Do we know how to break it?
The one thing that seems I couldn't get a clear answer on is what to do with it, other than the suggestion to destroy it, but no one knows exactly how. No one's really had much opportunities to examine one up close. Most encounters with the Lich result in usually death and being raised as one of their minions.
Yeah, I don't exactly want that.
I
Alright, maybe someone has figured it out back at home.
It went against my code to turn on her when she's coming to us in a time of need. She even paid me for it.
But what else could we possibly do at this point? Like, something is killing the gods, and if her patron's dead, what can she do? Other than she's got limited time before she turns, and at that point, what do we do?
Well, if she turns, then we do what we always do, but if we... I don't know. By then, it could be too late. Turning on her beforehand, I don't know. doesn't feel right.
No, I agree with you there. It there's no right answer to this. Because if we're preemptive about things and do what's best for our people and ourselves, then we could lose an ally if or we could save everybody before she turns. I don't know.
Just having this thing with us could be what kicks everything off. So, do I take the advice given by our priests and try to destroy it now?
I don't want to do that. I think we should at least figure out if they have found a way to destroy it. That way we know how when the time comes, if we have to.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're right. Of course.
I don't like it either.
I just don't want to make another mistake like I did with Insurion that led to almost the entire world suffering.
And Sirion made that choice thinking he was doing what was right. That wasn't on us.
No, but knowing what he was and what he was to Orcus, we should have stopped him.
It's a little late for that now. We did fix it in the end. But we took down Orcus. What's a lich?
You say that.
I've never fought one, so, but then again, I'd never fought, a demon lord either, so. Or a 50-foot tall demon over a volcano, or.
I'll put you.
I just was a pickpocket and durian, okay? I never had a great destiny doing any of this stuff.
Of course, you had a great destiny. You're destined to be my queen.
Yes, of course. How could I forget that very important detail?
Exactly, silly you.
Silly me. Of course.
I'll put it to you this way. The old man was training me in drilling every bit of paladin knowledge he could into my head. There was one reason why there aren't more paladins now. And that's because anytime a lich arose and became a problem, the world's answer is send in the paladins. And if they had a better success rate, there would be more of us. So no, I do not take this lightly or compare it to an overconfident demon. I see it as we are in real trouble here, but also, once again, finding myself The same source of that potential trouble being someone that I would like to call a friend, who has not wronged me not a single time.
Well, I can't say the same about not having been wronged, but I'll admit I was breaking her laws at the time, so
Did
I
she do anything
suppose.
directly to you?
To me, no. To my family, yes, if you'll remember.
It was her guards that were carrying out those things.
At her orders. But
At the guard
I.
captain's orders. There's a big difference. He told the people of Durian that if they didn't obey the laws, he would kill them himself right before we killed him. So if we were to set laws and our guards enforce them in a way that maybe we wouldn't directly agree with if we were there, does that make us at fault?
If we are not controlling those under our employ, then I would say yes.
We can't control them all the time. They may show us a face when they're in our presence, and then when we're not around, be something else. Abuse power. Make judgment calls that we would not make in their shoes or want them to make if we were around. I don't know. It's just over these past few years, just I haven't been out in the world like this doing these sorts of things, and all I've been thinking about is putting things in place and politics and boring things, but always happen to try and think what's best. And maybe it's more difficult than I originally thought.
I won't deny it is difficult, but I feel like we've been doing fairly well at it for the most part. So
Maybe in Durian's infancy, she was doing a good job too. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get sleep.
yeah. Let's we've got a long way home, so let's just get some rest.
He rolls over to his side and just kind of like pulls you closer before he goes to sleep.
Yeah, so you
Like
guys,
Vakta just passes out like she normally does, because we all know she loves sleep more than anything else in this world. Sleep and wine.
so you guys all go to sleep and wake up in the morning. Sort of foggy morning, a little bit chilly, but not nearly as cold as it had been, inside of where you were. As you guys are doing your morning routines and looking around, you look over at Rakar, and Rakar is still laying in his rucksack, and he is shivering.
Roger goes to check on him and like kind of shakes him a bit.
And as you touch like his blanket, like it's soaked, and he is just pouring with sweat.
Roger like thing.
Yeah, I mean you feel him, and he feels feverish. He feels warm to the touch, even for your, feral heritage. And as he like looks at you, he's more pale than normal, and his eyes are just circled with red. His lips are pale. And as he attempts to sit up and pulls the sopping wet blanket off, you notice that giant dragon tattoo that he had down his arm is gone.
That's not good. Is he awake or is he still like trying to sleep?
I mean, he's awake.
And he like kind of turns his arm over to kind of like show him. So like, has this ever happened before?
And he's just shaking his head. No, no. Something is different. Something is wrong.
Roger tries to help him up to his feet.
And he's wobbly, but you get him standing. And as you like looking at him, like all the wounds and everything that he had yesterday are still there.
Try to heal yourself. He's still got a hand on him trying to stabilize him.
And you see him like moving his hand about and like nothing's happening.
Do you still feel exhausted? Like
Yes.
as if you haven't slept?
Yes, even more so. I felt death before, and this feels worse.
Feels worse. Vardrak is going to use 2 points of lay on hands on him. Let me uncheck that. So 10 points of healing.
Yeah, and you see some of his wounds close up.
Okay. So he's like grabbing his head. It's like prying his eyelids open wider and looking inside and just examining it. So he like opens his mouth and looks inside.
And as you do, like his tongue is like pale, almost white.
Wow. Says it worked, but this doesn't seem to be any disease that I know of. We need to get you back home as fast as we can. Think you can manage to ride?
Yes.
All right. Vakta, let's get packed
Yeah.
up. Gonna get everything packed up and then help him onto his horse.
Yeah, he gets everything packed up and like his sopping wet blanket, he's stuffing it in his bag, and like as he goes to mount the horse, he kind of just slumps onto it and he's just holding on.
If he doesn't seem to be able to manage to ride and on his own at any point, Vakta will have him ride with her. They have an extra horse in Spatsus, and Taldir aren't there. So, oh no, Taldir was on foot, wasn't he? Or
No, he had a
maybe-
horse too.
He had a horse?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, we can switch horses off if they seem tired carrying two people, if he doesn't seem to be able to manage to ride on his own.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to just start heading back. Going as fast as we can without making it worse for him.
And as you guys are riding, like throughout the days, like he pretty much is like loosely holding on to you, Vakta. And like the whole ride, you're just hearing him like whispering, like talking to Tiamat.
Cool. All right. Like he's not already creepy enough. Can I make out what he's like saying?
It appears to you to be like prayers, but like almost the entire ride, like so long as he's conscious, like he's like praying.
All right.
So you guys ride all through the day, and as night falls, what's your guys' intention? You plan on camping at night, or you guys plan on trying to push through?
How
You guys got
far
about a
are
5-day
we?
ride home total.
Ugh. I'd say push until almost unable to move on, rest up, and then continue. Just stopping when we have to, not when we want to.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Everybody go ahead and give me a constitution check.
Huh.
Burp. Yeah, so you guys managed to push through, riding until basically the horses are exhausted, and then you make up camp. And you guys wake up the next day, and he's still looking the same. He doesn't look like he's rejuvenated any. He doesn't look like he's healed anymore, other than what Vardrock has done.
Two things. So before they go to bed, he is going to heal him up as much as he can to get him back up to as healthy as he seems to be able to get.
Can you do like 32 hit points with what you have?
Easily, yeah.
Okay. Then you can get him up to full health.
All right. And then Vardrock and Ravage will take turns with watch during the night.
Okay.
And during Vardrock's watch, he will be studying his book. Aside from that, that's it. They're just going to keep trying to, as soon as everyone, like, there's enough light out, get everybody up, keep pressing on, and keep checking on him to see if he seems to be getting worse.
Yeah, I mean, when you're on your watch, like, you notice that, like, he's, like, almost tremoring. He's shivering so bad. And he's super restless. You hear him, like, mumbling to himself in his sleep. And then in the morning when he wakes up, it's the same thing. Like, even though he's fully healed up and he has no visible wounds, he still looks sickly, and weak and tired. And it's more of the same the next day. As you guys are riding, while he's lucid, he's basically just talking to himself. Like, and Vakta, you hear his tone has changed. And it's gone from praying to more of like a plea at this point. Of like,
Dark Lady, I beg of you, give me a sign. Tell me that what is happening right now is supposed to happen, that we are on the right track.
And you guys keep pushing through. You manage to make it back to Dracarius in about 3 days. And as you guys are barreling through the towering wilds and approaching, the first thing you notice, Vardrock, is that magical shimmering dome that you normally would see protecting over is gone.
I think this is what I've been fearing. He looks down at Ash and she like kind of like looks over her shoulder a little bit and then like nods and then she starts bolting right for the temple.
You kind of blow past security detail and into the city proper. And as you're making your way through, you're seeing a lot of people that are like stopping and staring at you as you're making your way through the city. And what is your plan here?
Vardrak's wanted to head straight to the temple to see if the other priests, see if they're feeling the same effects as Ricard, and see what is going on with the staff of Tiamat.
Yeah. So you make your way through, and as you approach the church, you notice that there are more people in congregation than normal. And as you walk inside and everybody kind of stops and stares at you, you have Zoomer kind of at the front, and he like gets up and he starts walking towards you.
Are you okay? Is everything all right?
Everything is far from okay. Just fill me in. What's going on here?
I was hoping that you would be able to fill us in.
He like kind of pulls him over to the side and brings him close, and so other people can't hear. He says, whatever this war is going on in the heavens, I think it might have finally gotten around to Tiamat.
So this wasn't your doing?
No.
Because about 4 days ago, we started noticing a flicker in the staff. And as soon as it went down, we started noticing the priests becoming sicker and sicker. All of them have lost their ability to heal. And I fear that Tiamat is dead.
And that's where we're going to end it at for the night.
Boo.
Damn.
Oh, so with that, for one, congratulations on making it out of the dungeon alive.
Right.
For two, thanks, Allie, for the 3 months, John, for the 15. Thank you to, how would you pronounce this? E-I-R-O-W.
Eero?
Eero? Like,
Eero?
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 Arrow is the closest I can come.
Like the way that like Goldmember would say arrow. Is it arrow? The arrow?
It's Faja.
The Fasha's arrow? Thank you to the sub. I appreciate it. Thanks to Golden Rose for the follow. And arrow for the follow. Next week, we should have Jake back.
Cool.
Um,
That'll be fun.
we will not have Sin again, unfortunately. So Sin will be out probably for the remainder of the month, and I don't know if he's gonna miss any in July too. He might, probably is. I'm guessing. I think midway through July. But I know he wants to get back here, so he'll be back as soon as he can. We don't have a name for tonight's episode. Do we get any suggestions for names?
Let out.
Uh,
Come on, Allie, what you got? I need a suggestion for tonight's episode. Because otherwise, it's going to be doggone it.
Wow.
no.
Puppy killing? What the fuck?
Wow, that went dark.
Allie's mad the dog died.
That's
I'm
not-
also mad the dog died because I want one. And by I want one, I mean Vakta really wants one. But she'll bring that up later.
Okay, so puppy killing doesn't really have that je ne sais quoi that you want for like a stream title.
Yeah, Cliff's a monster.
Allie, I didn't want to kill the dog, and you know that. We talked about it this weekend. I think.
I'm not a monster. I just facilitate. Puppy killer's doggone.
No
Okay.
puppy for Vakta. Okay, well, fight me.
So it's gonna be called doggone it now.
No.
Too late.
Uh,
Too late. It's the closest I can get. So we got that. Yeah. So next week should be interesting. And at least you didn't kill, 2 of Sin's characters.
yeah, only one.
Yeah, that's all. Just one. I still got half of his characters alive.
Just the one that serves the asshole that killed our god.
You don't know that.
We don't know that. We know
Right,
that.
nobody knows that.
We-
might be
we
true,
know it
may
out
not
of
be
game.
true.
In game, we don't know that.
You don't know that out of game even.
Nope.
That's something that you're just assuming.
Hmm.
So, with that, I want to thank you guys all for being here, hanging out, enjoying this, hopefully. We're gonna raid out 2 Legends of Advantis. We haven't done those in like 2 or 3 weeks now. It's been like we've been going to Behold, we've been going to Ascension Stories. Oh, we got like 3 good ones on right now. Cool. But yeah, this is what we're doing because I already typed it in. So thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.